Our very next speaker is going to be Inez and Inez is a travel coach and the founder of It's Deeper Than Travel, which she founded in 2011. It's Deeper Than Travel is a travel company whose vision is to be a champion in the story of how Pan-Africans, experience each other globally. With over 10 years of experience in the Black travel industry, her motto is, I'm trippin', because to Inez, trippin' is an audacious, judgment-free exploration that challenges your comfort zone and unearths new facets of your being. She now hosts events and group trips that incorporate personal growth, connection, exploration, ancestral discovery, and adventure to places like the Caribbean, the US, Canada, South America, and of course, Africa. Inez is going to be talking about the topic of who versus how mindset matters for every traveler. Inez, the floor is now yours.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me, Sahara and the Travel Coach Network. Before we get started, I wanted to just give a suggestion that if you weren't here earlier, that Sahara gave you is to put your thing on speaker mode. It has really helped me to stay focused during the other presentations, especially when people don't have slides, which I do not. So my name is Inez Chimangariso. It sounds just like the way it's spelled if you ignore the H. I'll be spelling that for the rest of my life. My husband is from Zimbabwe. And today I'm here to talk about why mindset matters for every traveler, right? So I know that the mastermind consists of like people who are travel service providers, as well as people who are like actual travelers. So can you drop in the chat which one you are, so I kind of know like who's still here? I know we had a larger group earlier, just so I know who I'm talking to. Both. Yes, I'm here for that. Me too. Okay, so I don't know about y'all, but personally, as someone who's traveled to 22 countries and numerous states, like the main questions that people are always asking me is tied to how, right? They want to know how do I travel so much? How do I save the money to travel? How do I find cheap flights? How do I find fun things to do? And if you're someone who is like looking to add more travel in your life, you probably are asking Google and YouTube and your friends very similar questions. Being a life and a travel coach for Black women, who I'm helping them to eliminate overwhelm, I'm helping them to get out of their head, and I'm helping them to take the trips that they've been waiting for, right? And so before that, as Sahara was saying, I spent a decade hosting cultural immersive trips to countries like Ghana and the DR and Brazil. So I've noticed that knowing the steps to taking a trip does not actually mean you're going to take them, right? And realistically, like my friends, my family, you, me, my clients, your clients, everybody knows the steps required to take a trip, right? You decide that you're going, you decide what the wheres, the whats, and the whens are, you book your trip, you go on the trip, and you come home, right? So realistically, the how is not really the thing that is stopping people from traveling, right? So what is? So I'll tell you a little bit about me. From August 2018, right? April 2018 to August 2019. I went from like taking all kind of lit solo trips and group trips and all the things to struggling and really feeling like I could not plan any trip. In the process of that time, I had completed a K-1 visa process with my then boyfriend. So yes, I am an actual 90-day fiance. I had gotten engaged. I had gotten married. I had gotten diagnosed with bladder cancer while I was pregnant with my first child. I had healed myself completely by going fully organic vegan. And then I had my baby girl, all in the course of 18 months. So my world was rocked, to say the least. Like, I had no idea, even at that time, that we were on the brink of a global pandemic and the whole world was about to be rocked. So there was no doubt in my mind that I knew how to travel. Like I had done it all the time, but the problem was I didn't know how to navigate the thoughts and emotions that consistently showed up when I tried to start, Anybody else ever been there? Put it in the chat. Like, have you ever been just like stuck when it's time to travel, even if you're an experienced traveler? So like I had thoughts like, how is my nursing daughter going to survive with me gone? Right. Or like, who's going to take care of her the way I would? Or, is travel even really possible for me as a mom at this point? I was feeling like depressed. I was frustrated. I was sad. I was even a bit resentful because I felt like that part of my life was now over or might be over. And the reason why I wanted to do this presentation specifically is because these moments, every traveler encounters, right? Moments where their thoughts and their feelings are holding them hostage in their hero's journey that Angie was talking about earlier. The thoughts and the feelings that they have are the real reason they're not planning the trip. It's the real reason they're not making the time to travel. It's the real reason they're not saving the money to travel, right? If you're a travel service provider like I am, the thoughts and feelings of your ideal client is the real reason why they're not hiring you. The biggest obstacle that any traveler will face on their journey is taking the trips is overcoming those thoughts, right? Overcoming the thoughts about their ability to handle the obstacles that they will face along the way. These thoughts don't start at the planning phase. They start at the inception of the idea to take the trip immediately, right? So for example, I had the idea to take my family of 4, my husband and my 2 toddlers, to Zimbabwe for 5 months, right? To visit my husband's family. And immediately when I had the idea, my mind went wild, highlighting all the things why it was impossible, all of the obstacles, all of the things that were going to go wrong, right? And I will tell you that now that I sit on the other side of that trip, 3 months from being home, because I changed my mindset about that trip, I was able to unlock the hows in my own mind, right? This is why mindset matters for every traveler. Your mindset is either going to help you on your journey or stop you from taking it all together, right? One of the key steps in my framework that I teach my clients is solve every problem you encounter, right? And it's because I've seen that your mindset is either going to push you to tackle every problem you encounter or you identify, or it's going to have you cower at the thought of even facing it. So I know a lot of people talk about mindset, especially if you're in the travel coach network. If you're a coach, you know about mindset, right? But for those who don't, what is mindset? Mindset is what you believe to be true, right? Your beliefs are the thoughts you think over and over and over. And your mindset is what is at the core of your identity, who you believe you are. And if you're wondering about identity, identity is who you are regardless of any circumstance, right? Again, identity is who you are regardless of any circumstance. And I'll give you an example. So I consider myself to be a dancer, right? I danced and competed from the time I was 5 years old to the time I was 18. I danced in college. After college, I danced in my church ministry. But I will tell you, I have not taken a dance class, nor have I performed in over 6 years. Regardless, I still think I'm a dancer, y'all. Even the fact that my knees and my ankles will not let me be great, even like normal everyday tasks, I still feel like I'm a dancer. Even when I'm like getting up from sitting Indian style like I used to do on many a studio floor and my hips are cursing me out, in my mind, I'm still a dancer. I identify as a dancer regardless of the circumstances, right? So being a traveler is also a part of my identity. And because of that, I have thoughts like travel is not luxury, it's a necessity, right? I have thoughts like I can solve any problem I encounter on my journey to taking a trip. I have thoughts like travel is transformational, and the trips that I've taken have made me the woman that I am today, right? At the core of my mindset is the belief that where you want to go in the world is tied to who you are meant to be, your identity. So if you're a traveler and you're a travel, professional, share a core identity, a core belief you have in the chat about travel. If you're not aware, I just want to point out that that thought is the reason why you are able to overcome the obstacles you face on your journey to taking the trips. It's your mindset. The root of why clients cannot navigate those same obstacles is because they don't have the mindset, right? The way to help yourself and your clients take the trips they desire is to help them shift from how to who. Who are they currently that has led them to even have the idea to take the trip, right? Who is the trip calling them to be? What part of their identity or their knowledge can they leverage right now to make it happen? Right? So I want to give you some tangible questions that I use with my clients, that I use with myself, that you can also use, right? To allow yourself and allow your clients to literally walk themselves straight from the idea to returning home on their trip, right? So write these down so that you can use them. If you want to get them from me, send me a DM on IG at International Inez, and I'll give you them there as well. Question number 1, why do I love the idea of this trip? Question number 2, who is this trip calling me to be? Question number 3, how is this trip going to add to my life? Question number 4, what proof do I have that going is possible for someone like me? Question number 5, what do I currently know that works? And question number 6, what about me has helped me to overcome obstacles to taking previous trips? Now, the instructions for these questions are the person taking the trip has to answer these questions on their own. No help, no guidance, right? Because your mindset can't come from somebody else. It has to come from you. It has to come from your thoughts. It has to come from the sentences in your mind, right? You want to ask these questions at the inception of the idea, before your mind can get acting crazy. And if you do, any traveler can sell themselves on using any and every how to get to where they want to go. And if you're a business owner like me, you know how important mindset is. You can remove the word trip from these questions and ask the same questions about any idea you have, right? Whether it is becoming a coach, starting a business, starting a podcast, doing a media pitch, right? I use these questions and other tools to help my clients through all the life obstacles that get in the way and stand in between them taking the trips they want to take, right? If you're a travel service provider or you're a traveler, your brain automatically works like this, and you may take it for granted. I know I do, and I did before I became a travel coach. I realized that before I had my daughters, I was rarely Googling how to do stuff. I was just doing things, right? And then after, I was stuck in the house. That is why mindset matters for every traveler, regardless of how experienced you are. So this is also why the way I coach is mindset first over strategy, right? Like, by focusing on mindset first, I've been able to help clients go from being completely scared to travel to places like Ghana, to visiting multiple countries in Africa, and even starting businesses with locals, right? I've had clients who have gone from feeling anxiety about traveling by themselves to planning multiple solo trips, all because of mindset shifts. I've had clients go from thinking travel is not for somebody like her to planning her 40th birthday in the Bahamas by herself, right? That's how important mindset is. And I don't believe that mindset just matters. I believe that mindset matters most, right? So that's what I wanted to share with you all today. I work with a lot of women who want to travel more but feel stuck under their life circumstances and the obstacles. I just recently have also started working with travel agents and coaches and consultants on including tools like these in how they support their clients in creating and maintaining strong mindsets, because it doesn't happen in a day. We visit these type of questions and I ask these type of questions, and as I'm guiding them through to their journey. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube at International Inez. I love and live on IG the most though. So definitely send me a DM. I wanted to end with a quote that I can't even remember the originator of, but it was so good that I was like, and it ties to what I shared here today. So I wanted to share it with you all. And the quote is, goal setting is like a tree. The trunk and the leaves are your strategy, and the roots are your mindset. So remember, a tree has to grow down before it can grow up. So definitely leave me any questions you have in the chat. Definitely send me a DM on IG if you want to talk more about these type of things. And thank you again, Sahara, and everyone for having me today.
Thank you so much, Inez.